Rob running things in Sin City. Podcast blazing truth, rhyming hard and witty. Three kings on the mic, Vegas life gets gritty. Matt Michaels dropping bombs, quick wit, no filter. Sin City's own, blending gold with the silver. Steve taking notes, every word's a thriller. Rob's on the tracks, beats cold like a chiller. Bad Boys a podcast, raw truth they broadcast. Speaking facts so fast, haters coming dead last. Las Vegas legends, three amigos top class. Mic in hand, setting fire, never outclassed.
Hey everybody, the Vegas Bad Boys of Podcasting here. Sin City Steve, Rob Busselary, and Matt Michaels. And gentlemen, we're going to get right into it because it was one hell of a weekend and pretty much the talk of the universe with the Elimination Chamber 2025. And say it ain't so. That's right. John Cena has officially sold his soul to the final boss. And a soulless Cena definitely means some incredible things coming up when it comes to getting ready here for the big match between Cody and John at WrestleMania. Way to go for making him heel. Really quick before we get to opinions, a couple of quick things. Remember, guys, The Rock held up 3 fingers at Bad Blood and 2 yesterday at Elimination Chamber. So what does that mean? And also, only The Rock, Brian Garwitz, and Triple H were aware of John Cena's heel turn before the WWE Elimination Chamber. All right, gentlemen. What do you think?
Man, that event was premium.
Absolutely. And the thing is, I love the fact that they kept very few people in the loop as far as the Cena heel turn. That's exactly how it should have been. So bravo to them for, keeping kayfabe alive as much as possible right up until the very end.
Well, it's not even kayfabe at that point. It's more so it's keeping it quiet.
Yeah.
Kayfabe is real. Reality versus it's literally trying to keep everything under the wraps.
Yeah,
because right. No, obviously. It's cool. It's so that guys like this don't go ahead and start, spouting off what's going to happen.
Yeah, bury the lead.
What?
You don't want somebody like that coming out there and burying the lead.
Yeah, exactly. And the idea of something this magnitude, which is garnered, national attention, worldwide attention.
Yeah, I was going to say worldwide, man.
Yeah, even on Raw tonight, you saw a lot of the reactions from across the planet. So, okay, let's dive into it a little bit. When you were watching it, what did you think? Did either of you see it coming?
You have to in one regard. You cannot have 2 baby faces going into WrestleMania.
I'm not talking about. Wait. Hold on. I'm not talking about the big picture. I'm talking about that moment.
I know. I'm going to double, triple, quadruple down. You're not going to have 2 baby faces go into WrestleMania. So when you were left with those 2 guys, one of them is going to have to do something slanted. That's it. We've had 2 heels where the crowd is just split. They're both, but 2 baby faces with the crowd. One of them is going to have to go heel. As soon as you see that. You could point to something in the past, but right now, in the way that wrestling is done as of late, as soon as I saw that, and I wasn't wrong because proof is in the pudding, as soon as I saw that, something is going to happen. When he told Rock to go fuck himself, and you see Cena, I like the edge, the leading up to that cliff where we get to that, that peak where Cena's acting like Cena, and then the hug. It's like Han Solo walking onto that little catwalk in Star Wars 7. He's going to, get thrown off the damn thing some way or another. Anytime you've seen in wrestling when two guys are getting that close together and it's too comfortable, someone's going to have to break it. Cena and Rock are from another age, from another era of wrestling. We could get into the, discussion of how they got to that point where Cena sold his soul, but we know he wants his last shot to immortality and to break the record. I like how they packaged it on the back end with all the kids where they acknowledge, hey, this is the number one guy supporting kids, number one Make-A-Wish guy, the ultimate baby face. And leading up to it, though, something's got to give. Would it be Cody? Nah. No. Can't have it be Cody. He will not break on this right now, and it's too soon for him to have that type of a churn. And it would be stale to give it to John Cena, because then we've seen that before. So this was perfect.
Steve.
Unexpected.
Yeah, I think that you could tell that there was something that was going to happen. What it was, obviously, it was anybody's guess. But I think that this really does just underscore the cinematography of WWE and how they get shots right. Because the way that they shot that was absolutely perfect. And things started, like the pieces, fell into the puzzle one by one. And you saw that through the different camera cuts. And it was a great watch, to say the very least. The thing that really stands out to me as well is I saw some promo, like a promo image that inadvertently spoiled it for the fans, but obviously no one knew what was going to happen. The promo image that I saw was of Rock, of Travis Scott, and of John Cena in different shots. And now obviously it's great because it was in front of us the entire time. And right. They did a masterful job of that, man. They did a masterful job with that turn.
And once again, it wasn't a spoiler.
Right.
It was a foreshadow.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. And this is when you listen to the press conference, The Rock, a couple things. One, he's comfortable in his own skin. He doesn't have to be a heel or a face. It's whatever the moment is, which is a revolutionary breath of fresh air, because we're not talking about The Rock's the bad guy. Like he said, he could go out there and at one moment, hype up the fact WrestleMania is in New Orleans, and the next minute tell a fan that she's got syphilis on her fucking lips. He can do that. And the next thing is that he was emphasizing that it's long storytelling. And that's a big thing, right? He came out on Netflix. He's like, at Netflix, what did I do? I praised Cody. I embraced Cody. I took him in. This stuff is all laid into the future of what the plans are. Now, he also made a very good point, and that is when they're in that moment, feel the crowd. Because there was alternative ways they were going to do things if they felt a fan difference, which is incredible, to think that at any second, Cody could have said yes. And maybe Travis comes up from behind on Cena, distracting Cena so that, Cody can go take him out. But again, it's all that, that feeling. These guys have earned that, right? These guys know what the fuck they're doing, to where they're not going to jeopardize anything. And the brilliance of the fact that it was so quiet that Triple H, going into the segment, well, they did two things. One, the segment was listed in the middle of the show. for all the rundown sheets backstage. So then this way, no one questioned that why was it at the end. Number two, Hunter took over, and he even said it in the post. He said, "Everyone get off the channels. I'm calling this from this point," which again was because he knew everything that was going on. So, and he was the only one on headsets who knew what the fuck was happening, essentially, which is crazy. So
in other words, Luke, I am your father. Which nobody knew that was going to be the line that was shot on its own with only a handful of people knowing.
Right. To the extent of even Hamill didn't know it. They wanted such a pure reaction, right? So in a sense, boy, I mean, again, you have to go with the crowd, so what was going on. But in a sense, wouldn't it have been great if Cody didn't even fucking know? And it's like that embrace. He doesn't embrace. Cena does the turn, and he doesn't know what the fuck's about to happen. And just
can we talk about that turn though? The level of acting that comes from The Rock and John Cena.
Oh, absolutely.
Let's say what's happening, and you're watching that, but you don't know when the turn is going to come. The look on his face going from happy-go-lucky John Cena skipping up and down to that deadpan look, that is better acting than I've seen from any one of his movies, to be perfectly blunt. Just absolutely amazing. To do that soulless facial expression was perfect. And The Rock is at another level than he's ever been acting in the ring. Because we're not just, sitting here doing one-off back and forth insults like The Rock did back in the day with Jericho, or just beating somebody up and saying, "I just whipped your ass, don't go." Nothing. We're getting real cinematic now. And
he's also 50-something, right?
He's 50, but he's also had 20 years of acting under his belt, both of them.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. He's 50-something now. John's like 47.
45, yeah.
Yeah, he's 47. So the idea is that these guys have gone on and experienced other things and taking all that and bringing it to this. Now, the one person that needs to get credit here that isn't getting credit is Cody. Because, the way he fucking delivered the moment Cena turns does not become as impactful if the fact that Cody doesn't, sell the fact that he's thinking about it. He looks like he's really seriously thinking about it. And then says, "You know what? Fuck you, Rock.
Fuck yourself, yeah.
Go fuck yourself." Which, that in itself was such a shocking moment, right?
Exactly.
No one's talking about that right now because of the fact that you hit such a shocking level with that. And then you had Cena in the background jumping up and down like, woohoo, yeah.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Exactly. So you transitioned it perfectly into, get over here, give me a hug. And then again, like you said, the camera work with The Rock doing the slit of the throat slowly, Cena's face turning. It just played perfectly to the fact that if you listen to some of the other commentaries they played on Raw, a lot of the commentaries from overseas had what Rob, we were talking about, that JR excitement in the voice. They're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe the turn." The reason, again, that they didn't do that with Cole, and by the way, the announcers didn't know. Right? So now, what probably happened is as they're sitting there like, what the fuck?
Well, I brought that up
Hunter's
to you
in their
yesterday.
ear at that moment. That's when Hunter is telling them what's about to happen. Keep it calm, keep it sober, and then once they're out, you guys go in and get them.
And Cole jumped in that ring as soon as he humanly could. and that sold it. I wish they would have kept the camera on Cole a little bit longer. They did it for like a couple of seconds, but it was impactful to see Cole, because when Cody won, he went and gave Cole a hug. Michael Cole is crying in tears. That was an incredible thing. Sam the Falcon from
Cena's face in the moment reminded me of Sam the Falcon from the Muppets, not gonna lie, from Chris. That's funny.
But yeah, I mean, I wish I would have held the camera on Michael Cole a little bit longer, a few more seconds. I think they could have milked that too. But they went right back to the expression on The Rock and Cena. They wanted to really make sure that you're seeing that look on Cena. And you could not have had Cena do that 10 years ago. He would not have had the ability to perform and do that type of a heel turn. He couldn't have done it a long time ago. The Rock too. That's a skill set that a lot of the other WWE guys don't have. So Cena's stock just went through the roof, by the way, on his versatility. He was already legend, obviously, but that just took him to another fucking level right there.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so let's get to the Elimination Chamber itself.
Hey, Jamie.
We had a lot going on in terms of the storytelling. It looks like we are setting up Drew and Priest. Logan Paul once again kills it. You had obviously Seth and Punk setting up, and tonight on fucking Raw, holy shit, this scrum was fucking amazing. I don't know if they've ever done this where you had just all the security and everything all over the table. It was crazy. Setting up a match next week between the two of them in a cage. So we're getting there quicker, which means that there's probably levels to where that's headed, right? Cena, of course, with that whole choke out of Punk, the way that ended. Just overall, what do you guys think of that match itself?
I think it was a very, very well done chamber match. It did exactly what it needed to do. It furthered storylines, and it wasn't just the winner coming out of it with a storyline. I think that was something that they did extremely well. Is they had multi-threaded storytelling within that match, and it set everybody up for WrestleMania, which is exactly what they should have done.
Which is also cool because it's also not clear.
Right.
Which, again, one of the things that, Steve, you've always said is no continuity, just, repetitive nature. These were the things that were bringing it down, insulting your intelligence.
Yes. That was what drove me away from WWE all those years ago. So I love the fact that under this regime that they're doing everything they can to get me back. I definitely appreciate it.
This is a really good time right now for the WWE. The John Cena era where he was just fighting Randy Orton forever, boring as hell. The Seth Rollins corporate bullshit with Corporate Kane put me to sleep. And then they got their asses kicked. Not even kicked. They got nudged by AEW and went, whoa, okay. So now we're going to start doing good shit. And you can attest.
Wait. Let's remember. It wasn't that they were getting their asses kicked because there was no competition between.
That's why I paused. I thought I had more coffee. I said nudged. I corrected myself and said nudged.
But even more so, Rob, remember, they were starting at that point, even though the product was looking stale. That's when they were starting to make more money than they had been in years.
And we've had that conversation. I could care less how much money if your product sucks. I could give a crap how many kids you appease. I don't give a damn how many parents it is or how Disney it is.
But what happened? Vince was
that was what really happened. Thank you.
Exactly.
Finally. Yeah, Vince leaving the company was the absolute worst thing to ever happen to AEW.
Exactly.
because obviously the ripple effects have occurred, and the entire professional wrestling scene has not.
And
been
then
the
he
same
came
since.
back for a bit and he tried to revert everything overnight. And then he was, hold on, let's get rid of all these guys. Put a loincloth on that guy. He's like, all right, fine. It's a combination of things.
Yeah.
It's a combination of things. Is that fair to say?
But, well, obviously, everything always is going to be a combination of things. But the ownership of TKO is more important than anything, because, again, now any one of those people can lose their jobs at any time, right? It's not, that's the same thing. Like AEW, it's Tony, and whatever he feels like happens. He didn't want to be Vince.
We all, I think, agree at this point of the massive problem with AEW is right at the top of the pyramid. That said, though, with WWE, it wasn't guaranteed that even with TKO is going to be better writing out of the gate. It happened fairly quickly. They had people in place, and they started building storylines with what they had. I remember a storyline that they had where they were having Big E feud with Aleister Black, and then it just vanished, and he had to go, oh, wait, we got to change direction now. We had a lot of sloppy stuff going on. It's better. It's not even to say better. It's great right now. I'm happy with that. With the Elimination Chamber, I really liked the interplay with CM Punk and with Seth Rollins, where Seth Rollins is laughing as Punk is getting taken out, a torpedo is about to hit. Khan laughing at Kirk as Kirk tries to get the Enterprise out of the way, and it's about the Reliance about to explode. You had this, evil henchman kind of vibe, or mad scientist vibe, whatever you want to use. We're seeing heels again. I especially liked what we saw with the women's Elimination Chamber. That was, I thought that was already.
I'm glad you said that, because we were about to just get there, Rob.
Yeah.
Nice,
let's get in there.
Yeah, of course. The Elimination Chamber with the women, we had a lot of things going on. Again, a lot of storytelling and setups. And of course, starting it off with Jade coming out of nowhere, and beating the living hell out of Naomi in front of Bianca. Now, also, let me tell you, I gotta say, Liv Morgan is the fucking MVP. Look at this. Look at this fucking bruising and battered.
What is that hair extension made out of? What the hell is that? I thought they put like dunking it in paint or something. The whip sound effect, and then she's got the actual laceration. I'm looking at this going, wait a minute.
It wasn't a sound effect, bro. That was a whip. That was an actual whip.
Hair doesn't do that.
Well,
what is that? She's got to have leather in there. There's got to be something. It's got to be hair wrapped around the leather or something.
They, you know what? And they probably did, to be honest. That thing was probably because they played with it more, than usual. And
we hear Vegas bad boys love when the women play with each other more.
Right. Sure. Especially, when we're talking them whipping each other. Wow, man. EST. Woof.
I had to drink a lot of water afterwards.
But yeah, I mean,
Pedialyte.
You're right. Again, the Elimination Chamber for the women was, first of all, solid wrestlers. Let's just kick it off. These women are just off the chain. Roxanne Perez held her fucking own against some of the best, right? The Alexa Bliss stuff was priceless.
Great.
Yeah, just wonderful. Like we said with Liv, just what she put herself through, and Bailey once again proves that she is one of the, just unbelievably seasoned veterans. That when you put that mix together, shit, you were one person down in the chamber. 5 instead of 6, and it fucking played perfectly. And the question again is tonight on Raw, Bianca Belair basically just blew off like what she thought, because she was focused on seeing who was going to win that championship match. Might as well just say it right now. New women's champion, Io Sky.
The Queen of the Skies. That went through me. I did not expect that to happen.
So, the question is, Rob, you said you think that Rhea's going heel, which makes absolutely no sense, because Bianca
Does to
was the one
me.
who
It does to
distracted
me a
her.
billion times over, because of the way in which she reacted and the way in which she allowed herself to get distracted so easily. We didn't see as much outside interference as you just saw Bianca Belair maybe being obnoxious, and that's stretching it. She was there because we knew what the scenario was. They set it up beforehand. She's there to see who she's going to be wrestling. There was no surprise there. It's not like she came out in the middle of the match. She was there from the beginning. That was my distinction between somebody showing up in the middle of a match.
Steve, why is Rob wrong on this? In all the years you watch wrestling, can you please just explain?
What?
So
what?
I think what we're going to see is that Bianca is the heel in all of this.
More than likely.
And Rhea, you literally just said it in the first segment when we were talking that you couldn't have Cody versus Cena as two baby faces. You can't have two heels. So I mean, come on now. Like, no, I could genuinely see there being some sort of a three-way where it doesn't.
I could too, and we do support that.
Hey.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. More Pedialyte, more water. But
legitimately, I think that's what we could end up seeing ourselves getting into at Mania.
Wait, we're not talking ourselves. The three of us.
No.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Absolutely not.
And besides, you'd have to add Daryl and make it a fatal four-way.
Oh, Jesus.
Come on, guys. Just, let's just, come on, man. Why did you give him every time you think like the most, like, you give him like an urban McDonald's commercial music? Hey, boys and girls, the McRib is back. He's just in time for Martin Luther King's birthday.
Oh, he's got his fuzzy slipper song now. So speaking of women, again, one of the middle matches there was Trish and Tiffany. Again, the match did what it needed to do. It gave Trish an opportunity to be in front of her kids and wrestle in front of the hometown in Toronto. Again, nothing there other than what Hunter said during the press conference, and that was, this elevates Tiffany. Getting to work with a legend like that. So that was there. But
blondes in the ring, like half naked. I needed an IV drip at that point.
Well, I kind of needed an IV drip after what we saw with this match. Holy crap. Kevin and Sammy beat the living hell out of each other. This is one of my favorite things, to put together the Sammy is dead collage, because there were like 6 times in this match that you're literally going, is he's okay, right? Like,
this is why I need somebody to scream in my ear, as God is my witness, he is broken in half. They killed him. I need that once in a while. And you had a great match between them, and then of course the Viper comes back, and boy, if that's going to be a matchup at WrestleMania, holy shit, that's a great fucking matchup. What do you guys think about that particular match? They brought it. They brought the ECW vibe. I needed somebody to scream, "Oh my God!" It was very, very good. We were talking about whether or not there should be some color shown, but you don't want that to overshadow or take too much shine off the big reveal at the end. And it's there to set up Randy Orton more than anything else. The guys did the spot with the chairs, laying the chair over the other two, and it not bending or snapping down the middle. And Kevin Owens' body's got nowhere to go. I'm going, Jesus, that chair is supposed to give or flop or move or shuffle. Didn't do anything. And I was like, oh my God, the barbed wire, everything they did was good. Thumbtacks should have been maybe. I don't know. Did we need thumbtacks?
I don't think so. Steve, I mean,
it just goes to show that these two are destined to do this forever. And they have amazing chemistry. They've always had amazing chemistry, even back from the time in Ring of Honor. You know, their times in Ring of Honor up until now. These guys, it's. I'm trying to rack my brain to think of people that have carried on this type of a feud across as many promotions, across as many years as Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. And it doesn't get old. That's the best part about it, is you could have these matches and they could get stale. You know, they could all start to be exactly like one another. But no, each time that they have stepped into the ring with each other, there's been something different. There's been something to set it apart from the other times. And it just amazing stuff by these guys. Amazing stuff by these guys, for sure.
Yeah, and it also, it's a plunder match where, again, I think, one of the things, without spoiling what was happening at the end of the show, I'm sure they got word of, hey guys, no blood. And probably thought, well, Elimination Chamber is after us, so all right. Because someone I respect, brought up the fact that the only thing that would have been better if there was blood, because you had barbed wire and this is a grudge match, etc., etc. But at the same time, that's where I always come in with, blood should be used in the storytelling in that moment. And if Cody was that image you want it to remember, then having a bloody Kevin and a bloody Sammy just diminishes that, because now we've already seen it. So it takes away the shock value. So that's the only reason I think that we didn't see any blood in that match. Otherwise, if it was a normal PLE, probably, or we would have seen blood or seen blood in the chamber itself. One of the best things about last night was some of the camera reactions you got from throughout the night. It wasn't just the heel turn,
except for the dude in yellow, because then when he realizes he's on camera, he starts smiling and they try to cut away from him.
Yeah, well, unfortunately for him, he's already been immortalized in the
they go and they go, oh. Camera flips. I was laughing my ass off.
Yeah, and it is a great point out by Chris too. Did anyone notice the El Generico Kevin Steen name dropping that Cole did before the match? And and that's again, that's one of the breaths of fresh air, right? Not denying the past, being able to go and bring those things up without being reprimanded by a certain guy back there who's fingering the assistant while he's calling from Gorilla. So or fingering the gorilla as he's calling the assistant. I don't know. It's all accusations. I don't know, hearsay. NXT this week, really cool to see Moose take on Lexi King. It was a really solid match. A great showing for Pillman. Oba shows up, and of course they're going to be having a match at Madison Square Garden a week from Tuesday. We'll also see the Hardys versus Fraxium at that.
Oh, now they can call them the Hardy Boys again for that one day.
Well, yeah, of course, because Santino came into his music, and boy, did he have this picture here. He really did have an amazing emotional second there. And man, Ricky Starks, the Ricky Saints ends up getting the pinfall victory over Trey as Javon Evans and Ethan Page battled out into the crowd, leaving it kind of the end being a singles match. But Ricky Saints, is the final thing you see as the episode ends. So the build right now at NXT is building up for next Tuesday's show at Madison Square Garden. I think right after that, essentially coming up soon after that is TNA's pay-per-view. So, you're getting these steps in place and then leading up to what's going to happen here at Mania. The Hardy Boys got a welcome back chant right at the beginning there. It's just kind of insane to see all this crossover happening, and knowing that, again, it's not that it's a forbidden door, it's a working relationship and a possibly eventually a WWE takeover. But at the same time, we're seeing things that it's going to up the game of the performance for all those guys in TNA, which is very exciting to think about, because now they know, like, hey, anything we do can be seen by Sean or anyone in NXT. We have to fucking up our game now. And it's incredible. When you think about it, what do you guys think in terms of how it's been handled and where it's at?
I think that the partnership between NXT and TNA has been phenomenal. It's really allowed WWE to showcase TNA, and it really has had an impact in their bottom line as well, which should be the result of two companies working together.
Yep. Yeah. All right. So Steve's over under last week. Steve, you hit it. You nailed it.
Right.
Boy, when the
segment one, man.
Yeah, what a way to start off. When the camera cuts from Adam Page, MJF leaves, you get the Page standing in the ring, like, what the fuck is he talking about? And then camera cut to Chris hitting his own head so that he can then eventually do that and be laid out. Ouch.
Yeah, that was when I do the segment, I think, okay, well, this is pretty pretty likely to happen. And right there, first fucking segment, there was one production faux pas, and then later on in the night, there was a concerto to Claudio, and they chose to have it on the sideways camera, which showed you that, yeah, he was not hit in the head whatsoever by the chair shot. So we hit our over-under. So there you go. Congratulations on that.
But he still needed to be taken out by the ambulance.
Of course.
And every time AEW at the end of every show, they should do like a highlight, and they should play the Fandango music. That would be perfect. Dun, dun, and just every botch as the whole thing goes by.
Like a blooper reel.
Yeah, just a blooper reel, but set to the Fandango music. It'd be perfect.
All right. So, I mean, that's the technical stuff. Okay. That's fine. But now let's get to the thing that chapped my ass. So the runners win over the Murder Machines. The team you built up to go against the Hurt Business, you have lose by simply cueing the Hurt Business's music and having it go from Archer going to do a fucking razor's edge to a roll of pin. for no fucking reason. These guys are now getting the title shot, and I like those guys.
That's what
So
you got to do.
now-
Just
Yeah, okay. Now we know that they're not putting any stock into them because they're going to go and they're going to wrestle them and they're going to lose for the
Oh yeah, of
championship.
course.
But you just made Archer. They literally said after the match just ended and they're out on the floor like that, they're like the Outrunners, they're like, the War Machines just kicked their asses the whole match and they just lost. What the fuck? What is going on? Anyone?
let me ask you a question.
Let's
I've
go.
been watching Brian Cage now. I've seen him in Lucha Underground. I've seen him in TNA, and now I've seen him here. Where has he ever really won big that would make me believe that he's going to have some sort of great impact? I've never seen him go over. I've never seen him connect. I've seen them give him managers. That doesn't seem to work. They give him belts, but they're not real belts. They don't hold any value. He's jobbed for people that he should not have jobbed for. You know, he jobbed for Blanchard, Tessa Blanchard. That's how she was able to go and fight Sammy Callahan, was because she beat him in a gauntlet match. I've been watching this guy job for years. Taya Valkyrie beat him up in New Japan, and Lucha Underground. I've been watching this guy job for a long time. Why is this any surprise that he would lose to these two guys? And Lance Archer? I don't believe that Lance Archer is any type of, there's nothing about either one of those guys that suggests that they're going to do anything. What's going to happen is Don Callis is going to one day show up with his family and they won't be there. And they'll be in a Ring of Honor segment, and they'll be complaining that nobody takes them seriously. And we're going to have to show this locker room that we mean business, that we're the best. And they'll cut that promo 3 or 4 more times before they're out of AEW. There's never any time in any promotion I've ever seen him in. They did a thing where Sammy Callahan busted Brian Cage's girlfriend with a champagne bottle and cracked her skull open. Nothing ever came of that. There was no great awakening. There was no great match out of that. Everything this guy does falls flat. They put more stock into Wardlow, and that guy fell flat. So what makes me think that these two guys are going to get any traction? And as far as the Outrunners, yeah, it's funny. The Outrunners would be great in TNA. They'd even be great in NXT. They'd actually get breathing room over there to do something. They're not going to get to do anything here. We know who the tag teams are, and they're not it. Either one of those guys.
The problem is,
and I'm not agreeing with it.
Right. The problem is that we talked about the fact that the Outrunners are over, but you're refusing to.
They're in AEW, so they're over.
Well, it's still. I mean, let's face it. You're playing to the fan base. You got to play to the fan base, right? Number 2, I do not think for any reason that Lashley and Benjamin should have the tag titles. Lashley should be a singles and should be elevated up because that's what he is. And you bring in someone to tag with Shelton, even if it's someone within the company, right?
Or just start off with MVP for a while until they add somebody to their group.
Yeah. So that in itself makes me confused. Then you literally are building the murder machines, calling them the murder machines, and yet you want to stop their momentum to then put together a match in which the Outrunners will most likely, foreseeably, lose that match to the Hurt Syndicate, which knocks them down. And then the Murder Machines will face the Hurt Syndicate and lose, and it will knock them down. And you've just killed 2 tag teams with 1 stone.
The real murder machine is Tony Khan. No. Here's a question.
He's not a murder machine. He's more like a coke machine.
No,
Yeah.
but here's my question then. What team beats the the Hurt Syndicate, and what team does it in a way that is believable, where you could sell the loss at this point?
They haven't built them yet.
And here's the thing,
and they're not going to. That's the problem.
Do you remember back in the day in TNA when he had all the belts and he got bored with winning, so Lashley just gave up belts? They better not do something like this where they just go, "Oh, we're bored with winning." And
no, I don't think they will. But they
who do you lose to? The Young Bucks again?
That's Steve. That's what happens, right? Those egotistical guys come back.
Yep.
And then they will win the belts. And they don't pin Lashley, they pin Shelton.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Realistically, I mean, I think that something that people need to consider is obviously, the Outrunners being in this championship match, nobody is giving them any kind of a shot whatsoever with this. So it is what it is. And I think this is too little too late. If you guys think about it, people were jumping onto the Outrunners bandwagon back when the Young Bucks actually had the titles. And then when Private Party got the titles, people were, even more so behind them. And then what did they choose to do? They chose to have the Hurt Syndicate take the titles off of Private Party.
Right.
Okay.
Yep.
At the time, I didn't have a problem with that. And quite honestly, I still don't have a problem with them running the division. That I'm fine with that. That's good. But I think, Rob, you hit the nail on the head. Who is going to beat these guys? Like, legitimately, who's going to do it? And it can't be the Bucks. It legitimately can't be the Bucks because, dude, if that's the case, then there are too many
problem with the AEW tag scene is I don't believe any of the tag teams, as you said, Matt. And when they do you gave it to Private Party for like 3 weeks. And as soon as that was
the worst tag team title reign of
right,
any team
and the Hurt Syndicate came in, and as soon as we saw that, did I actually believe that Private Party had a chance? Of course, they didn't have a fucking chance.
No.
So you did their gimmick where they've got the little ropes. They could have cut some more vignettes. They could have did some segues. I would rather have seen them in a club with Conan or somebody somewhat famous from the past, popping bottles with them. Instead, they just did the velvet rope thing at the top of the ramp, which was lazy as hell. They did nothing to put these guys over.
Right. The only thing that they can do right now, my feeling is, to save this, is that the murder machines cost the Hurt Syndicate the titles.
I would be good with that. I would actually be really good with
that. That would make sense. But once again, though, that means the best that the Hurt Syndicate can be is spoilers. Those two guys aren't even good enough to be mid-carders, and there's no reason why they shouldn't be higher in the card than they are. But the ultimate thing is neither one of them have great mic skills, and they can't seem to find a manager that they can pair up with well. I mean, you gave the guy Jake the Snake Roberts, and you couldn't do anything with that.
Yeah, but Rob, they built them. That's the whole thing. They built them. Again, that's what's so frustrating.
You build them with paper mache or build with bricks. I mean,
but you're building them up. You're doing something to give them the exposure. And the reason that you don't believe it is because of the fact that you do shit like this that costs them that, and that's what makes me mad. I think that Chris has a good point. Is for the name value alone, the Von Erichs would be a tag team, but again, they're on ROH, which it's like
now they have the bones of a tag team that could have beat them and could have sold Inland Empire, but they disbanded them to do these other stories. Those guys would have been believable. Those guys are, all immensely talented. I would have believed if you would have put those two in there. Make them the tag team. I would have got fully behind that.
Okay.
Will Ospreay as a tag team member? Sure.
Let's talk about immensely talented Tony Storm, doing this promo on Collision where she's in the neck brace and then, gets up from the bed a little bit and takes the neck brace off. And, the whole idea that this nightmare about this woman, that she just can't get rid of. This is boy, if you could focus your energies into doing this type of thing with other stories, just fleshing out the stories so we don't have these questions. This is absolutely, and man, if Tony Khan has any fucking sense of anything, you make sure that you're delivering the Brinks truck to Tony Storm so she does not
absolutely
leave. She leaves and goes to the other company. Oof, fucking good night.
She is the best thing on AEW TV. Realistically, her and heel Ricochet. I gotta say, I gotta be real. But again, the thing is, notice I'm not saying the best two things on TV are, doing 630s or having crazy matches. They're actually developing characters. And I think that there can be a mix of very solid in-ring work and actually developing characters on a consistent basis in AEW. It's just getting the consistency behind the roster and allowing those people to shine.
And here that segues into this perfect thing that I have a huge problem with the character development or whatever the hell they're doing. So you have Willie Mack wrestle Wheeler Yuta. Willie is basically being used as enhancement talent and loses to Yuta. Moxley then comes out and confronts Yuta and tells him he has to beat Copeland. And Yuta ends up, Moxley leaves, and Yuta ends up hugging the title briefcase.
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on? What is this shit? I don't fucking understand any of this shit.
If Moxley is of the opinion that nobody deserves to see the title, then why would anyone deserve to see a briefcase? Just leave the whole thing at home. Leave the thing at home. Have Tony Khan say you're contractually obligated to bring the actual physical belt to the match or you're terminated. The end. It's that simple. I've never heard of a storyline that's going on this long where nobody has to have a belt. Your champion doesn't have to have a belt. That doesn't even make any sense whatsoever. He explains it in his promos where he's like, "Oh, I bleed for this company and nobody's at my level." I'm like, "Yeah, fine. You're the best guy. You don't want to acknowledge." It doesn't make sense. And then if you're leaving the case with Yuta, well, then I guess that belt's not that important to you. Why are you even the champion? You don't seem to care. You left your belt with you don't seem to give a shit at all.
Fucking Yuta of all people.
And also, it wouldn't have been that hard to beat the shit out of Yuta and take the belt. How hard would that have been? Come with Janice. Cope comes with Janice. I'm going to drop the case. You got a spiked bat you're going to wallop me in the head with. Here's the belt. Oh, wait, it's an empty case. I'm waiting. Why don't they just do that? It's an empty case. Just give us that. Say it's an empty case and you don't deserve the belt and I don't want anyone taking it from me. I'm that paranoid. Let's write that storyline. And you know what? Take the wife. Have Renee Paquette go, you know what? From now on, she's going to talk for me. I'm above talking to you.
Do not involve her in this shit at all, please. Just
it was fun to watch her when he cut that one promo and she's standing right there and she's just awkward, like
right.
That was good.
So I do have to say this, man. What did you guys think of that reaction when Wheeler Yuta hit his finishing move on Willie Mack and got the pin in that match? Literally a negative pop. Nobody cared.
This is worse than Dominic Mysterio because Dominic Mysterio is a heat magnet. This guy's not a magnet for anything.
This guy just draws no reaction, which is the worst thing.
The best thing about this match was actually, so Spinal Tap. Remember the scene in Spinal Tap where they're walking around, they can't find the way to the fucking stage. They're supposed to go on, and they are just going through hallway, and then they see the janitor, and then they're walking around, and then they see the janitor again. They've gone in a circle. They can't find the way to the ring. Wheeler Yuta is walking backstage, and he looks just like that. And that's how they fucking have him come out, is you follow him from a totally empty, like not the fans, just empty backstage area, walking past a hot dog stand. Like, what is going on?
Here's my question about that. How long do you go on with this once this whole Death Riders thing is over?
Until his beard finally all goes gray.
Because my thing is, eventually it's gonna run its course. So what do you do with this guy? I know, and my thing is, I don't see a future for him. There's no storyline you can insert him in. You're not going to throw. You could end up throwing him in Ring of Honor for a while and let him just rot on the vine.
A couple years ago, he wrestled here for New Japan in the stateside show, and his wrestling ability is great, but that look is ridiculous, and he has no skills on the mic. So I don't know where you go. Now, speaking of ridiculous, this is the look you get when you realize this moron has a pay-per-view match. Michaels. I can't believe. Look at this shit. What the fuck?
My advice to all of you is to go watch Meat Canyon and watch when that guy's son gets sent to a freaking cocoa bean slave labor camp. It's the funniest video ever. They redo the entire freaking "we're Costco guys." That's how mindless that whole thing is. I don't know what they bring to wrestling. I don't have any connection to them. I don't get putting social media people out there unless they're actually going to get in the ring and do something like a Logan Paul. Why the fuck do you care? I know, and it's just a waste of my damn time. And how many times are going to go boom? It was good one time. Oh, hey, it's Costco guys. It went boom. Okay, get them the fuck off the stage. We don't need to do this 3 and 4 times every other week.
So the fact is, the main reason why they're involved in the show is because literally their segments have more eyes on them than any other segment on the entire show, and that's largely because of their social media following. So I get why they're doing it. I absolutely get why they're doing it. But Matt Michaels, if you would be so kind, please hit my drop.
I will definitely hit your drop. It's time for Sin City Steve's AEW Over Under this week.
All right. So as we saw from the last image, we got Big Boom AJ teaming up with Mark Briscoe and Orange Cassidy against MXM. Yeah, dude, really, MXM. What the fuck is this shit? Honestly, like I don't get it. But anyway, dude. So anyway, over under for the week. They're going to be on the show because it's leading into the pay-per-view. It would not surprise me if in one segment those motherfuckers don't say boom 13 times. So that's the over-under. 13 booms this week on AEW TV.
Don't take shots to it. You'll be pissed drunk.
No shit.
No shit. All right. So that's the AEW over-under. Really quick, I'm going to give a little shout-out. Cena's heel turn was, regarded as such a high thing this week and just a shocking moment for everyone. Going back, 1982 in WCCW down in Texas, one of the big shocking heel turns was when Michael Hayes slammed that cage door on Kerry Von Erich's head in the championship match against Flair. Was the Freebirds at that time were loved by the fans in Texas, and when that move happened and they bashed Kerry, boy, that was a shocking heel turn. WCW, man, Rick and Scott Steiner had been tag team for a decade when Scott turned and became Big Papa Pump. That was a big moment in terms of heel turns you didn't think you'd see. Here at Armageddon 1999, Stephanie McMahon looking over her daddy Vince, and then of course she screws Vince and goes with Hunter. Another amazing heel turn. Sergeant Slaughter turning his back on the country and throwing his army stuff into the garbage as he supported Saddam Hussein was another major heel turn of the G.I. Joe branded star that you never thought you'd see coming. We had Austin McMahon at WrestleMania 17 when Austin sold his soul effectively to the chairman of the board. One of the biggest heel turns ever was when Andre ripped the shirt and the cross off of Hogan and challenged him to a match at WrestleMania 3. And of course, the NWO forming in 1996. Again, all of the big heel turns when we look at just how big that was with what happened this week. And speaking of this week and things happening, just got to bring up someone who decided to just go off this week on stuff. Enzo Amore. Hey, Cody, I hate to be the one to ruin your perfect story, but if you're Tom Brady, I'm more like Eli Manning. So I'm a two-time, just like Eli, but unlike Eli, I'm a first ballot in the Hall, and that's word to Scott Hall, the late, great fucking Howard Fine. I don't need to go to acting class, Cody, you little fuck. He also said former WWE star Enzo Amore mocks AEW and says the company is a failure that can't create any stars. Quote, things could be worse. I could be at the used car parking lot called AEW where a star has never been born. And there, I'm here at Shit Life Stadium, but it could be worse. I could be in an empty parking lot like AEW. Actually, I could be in the used car parking lot called AEW where a star has never been born.
Consider the fucking source.
Consider
the fucking source.
We always talked about wrestlers who butcher their careers. I was talking to you the other day, and I said, hey, what happened to Austin Aries? No. Whatever people have said in the community about him pales in comparison. This guy's like, yo, I'm going to fuck up my whole career. Yeah, no way out. That's what they should call the Enzo Amore story, no way in. Because this fucking guy. Remember when he bought tickets like a month after getting fired and started doing the little dance in WWE and they had to drag his ass out of the arena?
Yeah.
What
that
it's
was
like, it's you're not the realest guy in the room. Bada bing, bada boom. You're back to sweeping floors. He doesn't even have enough money to get his hair highlighted. I mean, Jesus Christ. Why would you shit on any chance? Now, like, what are you going to do?
Doesn't
End
have
up on
any
Maple Leaf Wrestling? Well, no, he can go to Maple Leaf Wrestling. He can go to bum fights. He can, he could wrestle at an old Kohl's parking lot. County Fair. He's got some spots,
I'd like to see him wrestle in Michael Cole's parking lot. That'd be fun. All right, so going from Enzo to Matt Hardy's AEW frustration. Matt Hardy has voiced his frustrations with AEW's approach to utilizing talent, particularly when it comes to the company's emphasis on in-ring ability over character popularity. In a passionate critique, Hardy specifically addressed the idea that wrestlers who may not be the best in-ring performers are often overlooked in favor of technically superior workers. Hardy argued that this mindset led to questionable booking decisions, referencing a specific example. Who cares? Harley doesn't match her in the ring. That's irrelevant. He emphasized that a wrestler's ability to connect with the audience should be just as important, if not more, than their technical skills inside the ring. One of Hardy's biggest issues is with AEW owner Tony Khan's branding of the company as "we're the best wrestle," while he acknowledged that this serves as strong promotional material. He believes it ultimately comes at the expense of popular wrestlers who might not fit that description. Quote, it doesn't matter if she doesn't match up. It drives me nuts, man. If you're over as a character, if people are interested, it's going to help sell tickets. It's going to move merch, and someone that's popular utilize them. Hardy's perspective highlights an ongoing debate in professional wrestling. Should promotions prioritize technical wrestling ability, or should they focus more on characters who can engage audiences and sell tickets? For Hardy, the answer is clear. If a performer is popular and marketable, they should be utilized to their fullest potential. A source is Extreme Life of Matt Hardy. The one thing that I think is true is that if you can do both, then you're gold. It's as simple as that. You can be a great technical wrestler, but if you have charisma and have an ability, that's why Daniel Bryan was so fucking good, right? Daniel Bryan has the personality of Wheeler Yuta. That guy goes no fucking where, right? Honestly. So it's funny. You got Enzo saying all that shit, which is, coming just from Enzo. And then you got Matt Hardy, who was there and, has a legitimate perspective. And he's referencing Harley Cameron, who, Harley was ringside this week and she had a match this week and she's over, man. Deanna Purrazzo got the loss to Harley. And they're working that angle to kind of build her a little bit. That's how you build.
Yeah.
As opposed to
they're actually giving her a finish now. They're letting her actually beat some credible names. So props to AEW. I know that we haven't said anything positive about AEW this week, but that is one thing that they are getting right is the build of Harley Cameron. They saw how the crowd reacted to her against Mercedes, and they're finally continuing a push as opposed to just stopping it dead in the tracks.
Right.
There has to be some momentum to it, and eventually, maybe, you give her a belt. You give her a belt, and dare I say it, put some fun on it. Give her some custom weird belt. Make it look like a Muppet. Do something with it. But she could be a very entertaining champion. I could see her being a very entertaining champion. But the way she would have to win is somebody would have to screw Mercedes Moné up and interfere so that she would get that little extra push to win. But they're
planting the seeds right now with Athena. Actually.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen social media stuff, but she and Athena have actually been going back and forth, leading to some speculation that there's going to be finally Athena, being on AEW TV properly.
Who's Athena?
The former Ember Moon. The Ring of Honor Women's Champion.
I know who she is. I know she is. She's a dusty figure in Ring of Honor. Hold on. Get her out of here. Oh, Jesus.
Dude, it's unreal. It's unreal why she hasn't been on AEW TV.
Hold on. There you go. Hey, no hard feelings, right? All right.
And Marcus is pissed that Rhea lost the damn title. That's because Rhea's going heel.
You're laughing. The reaction was not a fucking babyface reaction. Sorry, dude, it wasn't. My initial reaction was, you're like, oh my God, Rob's an idiot. Well, she's sitting there pounding her fists, cursing and grinding her teeth. She
just got screwed by the heel. Okay. All right, time for our social media dump of the week. Let's start off with it's titty time, of course. Gotta love Tiffany's shirts, man. It was great to see Dennis Rodman return at the pay-per-view. That was awesome. He's looking a little shorter than he once was. Love this. Who the hell wants to see the Elimination Chamber when AEW is giving us this banger on free TV 100%? Collision. Adam Cole versus Daniel Garcia.
Which was a good match. Shitty ending, but a good match.
Until the dusty finish on that one. Jesus Christ. Yeah. Hey, look, it's the AEW fans. All right. Little Mandy. You can't go wrong with Mandy. I'm sorry.
I'm hungry now.
I was wondering what smelled like Jack Perry's balls. Hey, fuck
There it
them
is.
kids, says John Cena. I love Liv Morgan giving the trash bin to the new concept of Donkey in the Shrek 5 for that design.
Because she is definitely the one that we should be going to for any taste takes.
Hey man, if she likes real good looking jackasses, then she just come my way. That's all I got to say. And speaking of, hello Tony Stark. Oh man, that makes me like super excited. Just like this does. John Cena. You can't unsee him.
You know, that could just be a China doll.
Oh, it could be. WWE recently trademarked the name Calix, which is reportedly for referee Jessica Carr, who was WWE's first full-time female referee and has been quietly making moves to return into in-ring action. Sources within WWE claim Carr has been competing under a mask at recent Evolve tapings, and Calix is reportedly her new identity. No word if she will still continue as a referee while pursuing in-ring career, which is interesting and exciting to hear. And finally, that old guy at wrestling shows who may have actually wrestled the Bear and Andre the Giant, or maybe just completely made it up because there's no footage of him ever wrestling. Yep, that looks pretty much like that for sure.
Mhm.
We got a big show coming up here on Sunday, March 23rd. It's Mecca 10 for FSW. It's the Benefit for Bay. It's the Chris Bay Benefit Show. A lot of big names. AJ Francis, Rich Swann, The Rascals, Frankie Kazarian, Leo Rush, Kenny King, Swerve Strickland, Brian Cage, John Morrison, Rhino, amongst a lot of others. Ace Austin, of course, Chris's tag partner. And just finally confirmed, Karrion Kross is on the show. So it's going to be Sunday, March 23rd at 5 p.m. at the Silverton Casino. The tickets are going to be going on sale on Silverton's website, I think, tomorrow, I believe. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday this week. So you can get your tickets. It's going to be a huge show and helping out, Chris and just a ton of support. And of course, you can
That's
still
the
get
most
your.
impactful thing I've seen is when he just stands up and walks. That was huge.
Hell yeah.
That was powerful.
And Rob, show off. You can show off the shirt if anyone out there wants to get a We Love Bay shirt. You can do so by going to Pro Wrestling Tees TNA section. And there's also a new shirt that's coming out. That just came out on Pro Wrestling Tees. If you go to Chris Bay's section, greatest story ever told. So it's great to see everything going on. And again, it's going to be a huge show. And if you're not in town, you can catch it on Triller. Yeah, that's what's been going on this week. Okay. Final thoughts, Rob. What's going on in your career right now?
I've got a show coming up next week. I'm going to be in a comedy contest. So more to be seen on that. You can go on my Facebook page. You can see some of my photos from my Dirty at 12:30 set at Boss Comedy on Facebook, BOCE Comedy, or just go look up Vegas Trump Guy. And if you want to book me for cameos, just go on to I was going to say, what is it? TikTok, and look up Vegas Trump Guy, and you can find out how to reach out to me and have Donald Trump in your home, getting rid of very dirty Ukrainians. So sad. People, they don't even come with shirts. Do you believe this? They don't even say thank you. How hard is it to say thank you? Thank you so much for keeping my country alive, okay? They would not be here if it wasn't for me and my Trump killer missiles, okay? Trump killer missiles, okay? Look it up. Look it up. had a deal with Northrop Grumman years ago, and we made the Trump Patriot killer missile. And, we gave them billions and billions and billions of dollars of Trump Patriot killer missiles, and they can't even say a fucking thank you. So disrespectful. So disrespectful. Get him out of here. Get him out of here.
Okay, Steve, what would you like to say?
All right. Hey,
Although
thank you guys.
Steve. Not
What's
talking
that?
about PP.
No, I'll talk about PP. Obviously, yeah, great. So yeah, the both AEW shows this week actually did have some really good in-ring stuff. So the main event on both shows was good. I didn't mention that earlier, but they are continuing to do stuff with Powerhouse Hobbs. So thankfully, they're at least getting it right with him. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you for liking, sharing, subscribing, doing all the stuff that you guys do. We appreciate each and every one of you. Also, very special shout out to all the brave men and women serving this country. Right there, John Cena says, "Fuck them kids," but love that military. All right.
You don't want to see me.
Thank you for hanging out with us. And, thank you for doing all the stuff that you guys do and thank you for enabling us to do what we love to do. And last but not least, repsports.com, reppsports.com. Go there for all your pre-workout, weight loss, and general energy needs. Again, repsports.com. Use promo code Vegas at checkout. Save yourself 15%.
Yeah.
Before I had a problem with my PayPay, then I went to Rep Sports, and now my PayPay works. So thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
Speaking
Right
of
there. Cope to the nukes.
Good old Dominic kicking Cope in the balls.
Cope in the balls.
Cope in the balls. That's what she said.
Oh, man.
Let me cope the ball. Well, on that note,
yeah, that was before he sold his soul to get those tickets. DJ's lost about 50 pounds since that video. But the eyes are still rolled up in the back of the head, though. So,
he's not amused. What do you think? What do you think?
They held back on a lot of what they could do.
Yeah, we did. It's a Monday night, so we held it back. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in again. Appreciate you guys. And we'll be back this coming Sunday night. Until then.
With that, everybody, thank you for hanging out. We'll do it all again next week. Till then, happy wrestling.
Rolling up the strip under neon lights. Podcast mic is glowing in the desert nights. Matt Michaels leading with the swagger tights. Sin City Steve right by your side. Alright. Rob Butcher Larry dropping truths, no fear. Broadcasting stories, make it loud and clear. From the Fremont edges to the Bellagio sphere. These bad boys rule, let me make that clear. Vegas bad boys, tearing up the scene.
To Matt Michaels and the Vegas Boys of Podcasting, this is John Cena saying thank you so much